What's good, everyone? What is good? Let me turn off this light in the kitchen. Yeah, knock that off. So I decided, I was like, why not? Why not try this live thing out briefly? But so of course, here's another topic, and we're talking about the proposed bill that gives New York governor power to detain people considered public health risk. Very, very interesting. I don't know if any of the media outlets have started discussing it since I've Googled it. Well, I didn't Google it. I just duck go. Um, since I put that up, I noticed it was like, yo, I haven't seen any other major media outlets that were actually discussing this. But this is a bill up for consideration in New York State in regards to you know what. So I was I'm not even gonna lie, I'm so compelled to read this and talk about this real quick. So let's see. January the 6th, 2021, introduced by M, introduced by M of A. Perry, read once and referred to the Committee on Health, an act to amend the public health law in relation to the removal of cases, contacts, and carriers of communicable diseases who are potentially dangerous to the public health. I found that utterly amusing because the biggest threat to community health is a lot of these elected officials we have voted for, or some of our parents have voted for that still have not been removed out of their seats. Let's see. The people by the state of New York represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows. Section 1. The public health law is amended by adding a new section 2120 to read as follows. 2120A, removal and detention of cases, contacts, and carriers who are or may be a danger to public health. Other orders. Subsection. Number 1, the provisions of this section shall be utilized in the event that the governor declares a state of health emergency due to an epidemic of any communicable disease. 2, upon determining by clear and convincing evidence that the health of others is or may be endangered by a case, contact, carrier, or suspected case, contact, or carrier of a contagious disease, that in the opinion of the governor, after consultation with the commissioner, may pose an imminent and significant threat to the public health resulting in severe morbidity or high mortality. The governor or his or her delegee, including but not limited to the commissioner of the heads of local health departments. It's really done gotten small on me right now. You can tell when you get up in age, you start noticing, God dang, shit is just small. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm sorry about that. Commissioner or the heads of local health departments may order the removal and the detention of such a person or group of such persons by issuing a single order identifying such persons either by name or by a reasonably specific description of the individuals or groups being detained. Such person or groups of persons shall be detained in a medical facility or other appropriate facility or premises designated by the governor or his or her delegee, complying with subdivision 5 of this section. Wow. It was tweeted. This is straight up detention camp stuff in New York. Yep. A bill giving Governor Cuomo, health commissioner, or any designated official full power to remove person, group of people from their home if deemed contagious is horrifying. Wake up, New York, and fight. So this is wild. I mean, and another tweet is states New York's proposed law would not be a law at all. It's flagrantly, blatantly, and explicitly violates the Fourth Amendment rights of all American citizens. This is arrest without due process rights. It's the kind of intolerable act our founders went to war over. So there you have that shit right there. I couldn't believe this. I was like, what? What kind of shit is this? The authority to remove or detain someone deemed a threat to public health amid concerns over you know what. Assembly Bill A 416 states a questionable individual or group of people shall be detained in a medical facility. Now, I'm just going to be honest with you all. This is just a crop of shit. Cause, and the reason why I'm saying that is a crop of shit is because if they can't detain you, because in most cases, those who, in most detention centers, they're not keeping people there unless it's a real major serious crime. Then in that aspect, what happens is they lose out on money. So of course, you know what they have to do? They have to find another alternative in order to get money. So, I guess they're like, well, shoot, since we can't lock them up in the prison industrial system, we can go ahead and lock them up in a medical facility and still some way, somehow, we can possibly monetize off of them. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about this? Because now what's going to end up happening is you're going to start having people that are just going to jump out there and say, oh, that group of individuals are carriers. I heard a lot of people over there coughing, and you all need to go and detain them. A phone call is made, and then next thing you know, you got cops pulling up, and they're trying to detain them because of hearsay. So we're going to take you in so we can go ahead and evaluate you all. It's like, is that so? I'm like, shit, if that's the case, I hope someone jumps the gun and gets out there and start pointing the finger at this governor. Like, y'all need to go ahead and catch that governor. Hey, if it's going to be implemented, it's going to be passed. I'll be watching that governor. It was like, as soon as the shit is passed, I'll be like, oh, okay, go check the governor. Y'all need to go ahead and pick the governor up. You need to get the governor's kids. You need to get the governor's family. You need to get them. They are a potential threat. Oh, but by his orders, though. By his orders. Like, I feel so bad. I feel so bad right now for a lot of um, New Yorkers, man, because it's like, Kumo, what sort of uh, humpback backwoods country shit is that? To say, okay, we're just going to go out here and randomly start detaining people because we think they might be contagious. So we're just going to go ahead and detain a whole lot of people just off hearsay. And you understand that a lot of, you've had folks to jump out here and take this retarded test more than once, tested positive twice in one instance, and then in another instance they tested negative twice. So it's like shit's just not trustworthy, you know. This form of tyranny, this form of government is totally and completely out of control because it's not in the best interest of American people. And that's just facts. It is not in the best interest. And the reason why I say it's not in the best interest, hold on, let me grab my charger real quick. And the reason why I'm saying that it's not in the best interest of American people is because if you have looked into your account and the IRS sent you $600, but you have bills, you have mortgages, you have car notes, and it's like you have other major responsibilities. That $600 comes in, that's like nickels in a bucket for a lot of American people. That's not enough, you know. It's really not. But then we turn around and in a separate situation, behind the curtain, we find out that this form of government is sending money to other countries. Like, what aid do other countries need more than the needs of American people? But again, these are Republicans, these are Democrats who are approving this type of thing. And the sad part about it is you have a lot of Americans who are sick. You have a lot of Americans who are on their last leg. You have a lot of Americans living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you this whole pandemic, and that's what I call it, pandemic. This whole pandemic has really hurt a lot of Americans. Like, seriously. And the sad part about it is the politicians aren't even suffering. The politicians are still collecting a check, which honestly, I feel that no politician should be able to get a check. If the country had to go on lockdown, there's no reason whatsoever any of those politicians still should have been able to get paid. A lot of those politicians should have bit the goddamn bullet and just been like, you know what? The American people are hurting. Why are we still taking a paycheck? We honestly haven't earned it. And to send millions and billions of dollars to other nations, like, what is that remotely doing for the American people? Nothing. If you're a small business owner, when they had that lockdown, I'm pretty goddamn sure a lot of small business owners probably were just like, fuck, because the money wasn't coming in at You know, the money wasn't coming in. It wasn't. So in some cases, people had to shut their business down. They had to close up, and they still had to pay, you know, the space that they were renting. They still had to pay on that. They still had to pay on the utilities. But yet, this form of, this level of tyranny and ass backwardness corporation, it just keeps showing, it keeps showing American people their ass. Um, I know I came across a post about Mitch. His property was vandalized, and then Nancy Pelosi, her property was vandalized. I was like, well, that's just a warning sign. The fuck makes you think the American people aren't gonna come and kick in your front door and give you that damn smoke? Because y'all motherfuckers, y'all not doing your goddamn job. Period. And it's sad to say it, but I feel personally the American people is more American people than it is government officials. Yeah, you might have individuals who are in in the military, but again, military men and women, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be down with the bullshit. They're not going to be down with the bullshit at all. Because, I mean, you're talking about going against the American people. The American people actually made this country what it is today. At some point, American people have invested their time, their energy, their labor, their tax dollars, and even their time to go out here and vote for some of these, for some of these old teabag licking politicians out here that are not being held accountable. I believe a lot of these political figureheads, their heads, it just their neck needs to be on the chopping block. Like, seriously, put their necks on that damn chopping block and put them in a position where, all right, look here, you got an option. You can do what we say, or you can go against us. We will be at your front door, and we will be at your front door before you even have an opportunity to jump up and call the police. We already dragging your butt out in the back and putting you down like a sick horse. A lot of these politicians, man, they blowing so much smoke up American people's asses. And the sad part about all of it is, it's like, the fuck y'all gonna do about it? Y'all just gonna let this shit just happen? You got too many, you got too many Americans out here, man, that's just like, the fuck you doing? You so adamant about going out there taking some sort of cocktail shot that I'm pretty damn sure the majority of those who have already went out there and taken it, they probably didn't invest any sort of research or time or effort into finding out what the fuck they were taking. And this shit is sad. Because now the results is you start having charge nurses that just ended up dying. Tiffany, what's her name? Tiffany Dover. She died. And even though social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook were like fact checking shit saying, oh, this is not true, she's not dead. It's like, she is. That information is actually public, but they're not talking about it. That's an indicator right there. There was actually another doctor that I did a video about, Dr. Susan. I can't recall her last name offhand, but Dr. Susan. She even spoke about her treatment in the hospital. It's like you got doctors that are not doing their job. They're not. They're half-assing. And Dr. Susan, she's a doctor herself, but she became ill. and the things that she was expecting, the things that she would normally do if someone was sick in her hospital, the doctors weren't doing for her. Shady, salty, but yeah, man. And then you had another nurse in Tennessee. Um, she took the shot, and then it was like half of her face just like, ugh. She took a mask off, half of her face was just like drooping. I was like, that's not natural, that's not natural, people. Like, why are you so adamant about going out there and taking something? Like I explained before, you wouldn't take a drink if you're in a bar or a lounge and a total and complete stranger happens to walk up on you and hand you a drink. Are you drinking it? No. We teach our kids, don't take candy from strangers. We are grown ass adults and we're taking cocktails from other grown ass strangers. Like, I guess common sense isn't common amongst common folk. But in any sense, hey, that is just my input on that. Cody Anderson, chair of the Libertarian Party of New York, which I'm still considering, if I go out here and vote again, I would have actually voted for them. Urged the state assembly, people and senators to denounce the bill A416 and quote, let's put aside for a moment the egregious privacy violation in issuing an order announcing an individual to be a health risk, unquote. Anderson said the bill offers a clear and direct path to unconstitutional and infinite detainment. Right. That's what I was thinking. Like, is there like a grace period? Or if you start, if this governor starts putting folks into these medical detention centers, like, we don't know if these individuals are going to be injected with some sort of drug. We don't know that. We don't. We're basically putting our lives, and other people are putting their lives into the care of someone that they really don't know, and they really and truly don't know what their motive is. This bill offers a clear and direct path to unconstitutional and indefinite detainment on the governor's role authority. No U.S. state was ever meant to have a single person acting as judge and jury without checks or balances. If this bill is allowed to pass, that is exactly what New York will have. Damn, boy. Even those without an illness, check this out. Even those without an illness can be confined if they had contact with someone who might have been sick, despite the fact they were symptom free. That's just sad, boy. Check out the bill. A as in apple, 416. That's Alpha 416. Check that bill out. Read it for yourself. Leave your comments. And most of all, please be safe. There's nothing wrong with declining. You don't have to consent to any of this. The power remains with the people. The power remains with the people. And until the people realize and understand how powerful they really are against this form of government tyranny, a lot of American people are in for a rude awakening this new year. So in the meantime, in between time, remember, no one loves you. I do. So be safe, protect your energy, and until next time, I'll talk with you soon. Peace.